The following is a special presentation of Ashland University's College of Arts and Sciences.
Hello and welcome to the CAS Spotlight, a show where we spotlight the different staff, faculty, and departments in the College of Arts and Sciences. I'm your host, Rebecca Rively. Thank you for joining us. With 17 departments across campus, Ashland's College of Arts and Sciences encompasses a wide range of programs with everything from art to social work, history to politics, English to creative writing, just to name a few. Today in the Spotlight, we have Masters of Fine Arts and Creative Writing Director Stephen Haven and Administrative Director Sarah Wells. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
So to start out, I want to know about the MFA program. Tell me what you know.
Okay, the Master of Fine Arts program is a 2-year degree for students who are interested in creative writing. We have 2 genres right now, poetry and creative nonfiction. And next summer in 2015, we will add fiction as a 3rd genre choice.
Okay.
The program was started in 2007. We actually had authorization from the Ohio Board of Regents in 2006, and we took our first students in 2007. We're a 45-hour credit program, and we do 36 hours online and 9 hours on campus in intensive residencies.
Okay, so talk about those low residencies a little bit.
Well, they're 12-hour days. Students come for 14 days each summer. They spend 42 days in residence over the course of a 2-year degree. And they spend mornings in classes. We have 3-hour classes during weekdays. We have a craft seminar in the afternoon. We have readings every night and various other activities. Sarah, you maybe want to fill in? What else do we do?
We also have, during each residency, sessions with publishers or agents and editors, or we'll talk about a specific topic such as translation and writing, or we have a featured night of music or poetry, and try to incorporate some social events into the 2 weeks so that we can kind of build a community of writers.
Very much like a literary festival, except our students are taking classes in the morning. Those classes are closed to the public in the morning, but our afternoon and evening sessions are open to the public.
Okay, you talked about your students. Tell me, what kind of students is this MFA program attracting?
Well, we have what would be considered non-traditional students. They're not non-traditional to us because we tend to attract older students. Our average age is 42. And we've had retired lawyers, psychologists, psychiatrists. We've had college professors, many high school students, people working in the computer industry.
Yeah, the range is from 22 to 72. Really, we have quite a broad group of students enrolled in our program.
Most of them have jobs, not all of them. The program is designed for people who can't leave their regular lives, either their family lives or their work lives, and relocate to a residential program. So they're able to do most of their work online and continue to work their jobs and be with their families, and then come to campus for 14 days in the summer.
Awesome. Okay. After this short break, we'll be back with more on Ashland University's Masters of Fine Arts and Creative Writing program right after this.
Really, that's what I feel separates this department. The professors are great, but the ability to just do media right away. You're not going to learn anywhere near as much in the classroom as you do just being out there, reporting on something you have no idea what you're talking about. Figure it out. They expect you to mess up. They just want you to make the mistakes now, so when you're graduated, you don't make the mistakes then.
If you're just joining us, our guests on this edition of the CAS Spotlight are Stephen Haven and Sarah Wells from the Masters of Fine Arts and Creative Writing program. So before this, we were talking about residencies and how students come to the campus for 2 weeks. Now, I want to ask, just based off of Ashland University as a whole, all classes are very, very small. How many faculty members in this program work with each student?
Oh, I would say each student probably works with 4 faculty members during the course of completing the degree. Probably a larger number than that while they're here on campus. But the classes are very, very small. There's a maximum number of 5 students per faculty member. Again, that's the same size on campus and the same size when they're studying online. The faculty members work with them intensely. They give them written feedback on their creative work. They assign texts online and discuss those texts during online discussion forums. And yeah, it's an intensive program designed for a small group of students working in a mentorship model with a faculty member.
And how do you think that helps them, being in such small classes?
Well, it's more the model, I think, that writers learned under before the advent of residential MFA programs in the 19th century or the early 20th century. Often writers would find an older writer to study with or find a mentor to help them develop their crafts. So it's much more like the older model.
Okay. Now, Sarah, what types of classes would a student in the MFA program be taking?
Well, the online classes are structured so that there are just those few number of students per section. And the instructors will often assign a discussion leader each week. The classes are discussion forums rather than live chat rooms so that students can engage whenever it's convenient for them. They have to read between 4 and 7 common books per semester and discuss those, primarily talking about the way that the books are put together, where instead of looking at the subject of the book or the topic of the book, they're looking at the narrative arc or the craft decisions that the author is making, so that those can inform their own creative process. And then in addition to the discussions that they're doing online, they'll also exchange 4 packets with their faculty mentor during the semester. And those are the detailed line by line kind of discussions that the faculty will give to each student to help them improve their writing.
Okay. Now, in order to graduate, is there a big final project that each student has to complete?
Yes, the whole curriculum is structured around the stages a writer would go through in completing a book. So we take students as far as we can toward the goal of completing a book in the form of a thesis. We know that the students likely won't be ready to publish that thesis yet, that they will still need to work on it, probably for years afterwards. But we model the program on the stages that a writer usually would go through in generating material and then beginning to revise that material and shape it, generating far more material than they might finally use in the thesis. So the thesis is the capstone project.
Okay. And you said that it takes, years and years to put final touches on these theses. What do you think? Do you still keep in touch with your students at all after they leave? Do you help them with that project throughout the years?
Yeah, we care a lot about our relations with our alumni and, in fact, track their activity. Sarah's the point person for doing that, but I write my share of recommendations, many recommendations every year. Our students go on to graduate programs. A few of them have found college-level teaching jobs. Some have received really fine scholarships and assistantships from PhD programs. Some of them return to their regular jobs. That this is a life enrichment experience for them. They're not looking for another job. They have good jobs, and they just want to develop their crafts as writers.
Okay. Now, I read that you obviously are an exception, but almost all the faculty members in this program are visiting professors. How do you go about choosing those people?
Well, Steve can probably answer this question better than I can because he's the hiring portion of our program. He really cares a lot about the teaching in our program. That's a major emphasis for us. So when we go to hire new faculty, we want them to be very well published writers, but more importantly, we want them to be dedicated instructors. They need to care about the students and to care about the students' development. It's nice to have a big named writer on your list to be able to say, we have so-and-so and they've published 6 or 7 books and won all of these awards. But if they don't care about our students, then it's not going to be a very good working relationship, and that's not what we want.
First, I want to say we do have full-time Ashland faculty who teach in the program or are on the faculty, including Joe Mackel, Dan Lehman, Deborah Fleming, and Matt Tullis is actually on our faculty committee, which is the body that oversees the hiring process. When we hire people for longer-term assignments, writers that we want to teach in the program on a regular basis, we do it through the MFA faculty committee. And that committee consists of full-time Ashland faculty, either in the MFA program or in the English department. The English department chair sits on that committee, and representatives from the off-campus faculty. And we follow the same routine a regular search committee would follow. We do a call for applications. We narrow down those applications to a group of finalists. We review as a committee the finalists. We interview a smaller group and then make a decision to hire. Occasionally we have to hire on an ad hoc basis if one of our regular faculty decides to take a leave, and we get very, if we get a short notice and we need to hire someone, sometimes we'll just ask our current faculty for recommendations or nominations. Sometimes I will know of a good writer whose work I respect and whose teaching I respect. As Sarah mentioned, teaching is a very important thing for us, as it is for Ashland University as a whole. But of course, we would never hire any writer who wasn't very well decorated in terms of publications and awards.
Okay. So where are some of these visiting professors residing right now? How far away are they?
We have faculty who are living in California, in Colorado, in Indiana. They're all over the United States. In fact, I don't know that we have any of our visiting writers who live in state right now. So they all fly here or drive here for the summer residencies, and it kind of creates a really unique experience having such a representative geographic locations on campus.
New Mexico, we had one faculty member who was living in New York City. He's no longer teaching with us, but they're from all over the country, and our students, about 40% are from Ohio, and the rest are from maybe 20 different states, 25 different states. I'm losing count, it shifts every year.
Right.
Something like that, 25 different states are represented in the program.
Very nice. All right. Coming up next, we'll talk more about the Master of Fine Arts in Creative Writing program.
Above everything else, above all of the experience that we get, you develop a second family through the journalism department. We're not just students, it's not a divided student-faculty relationship. You really get to know everybody, and you can call the journalism department your home. And when you can call a department your home and you're comfortable around all of those people, you're able to develop skills that you might be afraid to kind of go for otherwise, but we're able to push each other and give each other that confidence. And I think that above the experience, that gives us that extra little push that other schools don't have.
Back with more CAS Spotlight. We're joined by Stephen Haven and Sarah Wells. All right, so we've talked a lot about this program and spotlighted many different things, but what I want to know is what makes our MFA program stand out among the rest?
I think the first thing I think of about our program is the sense of community and the unique relationship between students and faculty and visiting writers that we've created on this campus. There's a really lively atmosphere when all of the students and faculty are together during the summer, and it's a really just powerful community of writers. I think our students build relationships here that extend long after they've graduated. They're able to sustain their writing lives outside of the MFA program because of those relationships. And I feel pretty strongly that that's one of our best assets.
Writers have generally learned in groups. There are exceptions to that rule, but even Emily Dickinson had a literary community. She had a very close relationship with her sister-in-law who lived next door and shared her work with her. She was close friends with the editor of the Springfield newspaper, who was also interested in literature and published some of her poems. Usually writers develop when they work together, and they share each other's work, they critique each other's work, they push each other to try a different kind of writing, do something other than what they know they can already do well. So we tried to build that kind of community on campus. We also try to hire not only writers who teach well, but who will really mix with the students and will not hold themselves above the students. And we share meals together during residencies. Mm-hmm. And you'll find if you were at one of our meals that we don't segregate the faculty from the students. Everyone is mixing together. There's a real a joyous sense of the community, I think, when we're in the midst of a residency. It's an exhausting 2 weeks, but it's an exhilarating 2 weeks as well.
Mm-hmm. So what does the future look like for this program?
Well, we're really excited because the program is expanding right now. We have been focused on poetry and nonfiction since the start of the program. And in 2015, we will start fiction and recruiting now for that class this coming year. And then we are also really excited to launch a residency in Paris, France next summer that will be open to current students, but also our alumni and postgraduates from other institutions, as well as writers who are just really interested in working with the two faculty members who are leading that tour, and that's Angie Estes and Tom Larson. So those are two really exciting additions to our program that we're looking forward to.
We're also hoping that we can start a residency in Chengdu, China. We will submit a proposal next fall to the university for a review. And Sarah mentioned the Paris residency. We're in the process also of hiring 6 fiction faculty to teach in the program. We'll hire 2 this spring, and 2 more next year, and then 2 for summer 2017. So we usually plan far out in the future. We're at least a year ahead of the game. Mm-hmm. And in this case, planning to add fiction, we have to think 3 years in advance.
What kind of feedback have you gotten from people that are hearing about these additions?
Well, this is fresh out of the box in terms of news for us. We have just recently gotten our approval to add fiction, and so this might be one of the first times that people actually hear that we're adding fiction. But I think that there's a lot of enthusiasm from the community members that we know who have wanted to start an MFA program but haven't been able to enroll somewhere that suits them, and to know that fiction is an option. I think that we'll have a lot of good words from people.
Okay. Now, if anyone is interested in getting more information about this program, how can they go about that?
Well, they can go to our website, which is www.ashland.edu/MFA, or they can email me at mfa@ashland.edu, or you can call me at 419-289-5957.
Okay.
I'm also always available. One other characteristic of our program is that we like to have a personal touch. We like to be personally in contact with our students. Certainly we are with our faculty. So I am always available if anyone is interested in talking about the curriculum.
Okay. And what's your email?
My email is shaven@ashland.edu.
Okay, I want to thank both of you for being on our show today.
Thank you.
We'll be back with another look inside Ashland University's College of Arts and Sciences on the next edition of the CAS Spotlight. For all of us in our Center for the Arts Studios, I'm your host, Rebecca Rively. So long, everyone.